So full disclosure for this video, I did receive review keys for every single one of the games that I'm going to talk about, and I really do appreciate the devs reaching out to me over the past few weeks, and it is incredible. I was like, I can't believe this is happening to me. I'm like really small, so I'm surprised that all of this happened at once while I was on vacation. It was kind of crazy, but I know for you watching videos like this where a content creator will talk about that they received a review key for a certain game can kind of sour the well, or kind of sour the opinion that they are holding, because there was a bit of bias there, and I understand that completely. And also try my best to mix up the content that I do on this channel with games that I've actually purchased and also games that I've received for review keys. But with that being said, I would have had the same opinion about these games regardless if I purchased these or if I got the review keys. You can take my opinion of all of these games with a grain of salt. I'm just a guy on the internet talking about indie games, but I really want to talk about how cool these games are, and so let's talk about them. I already did a separate video on the Drifter where I talked about how amazing this game was, and I was about halfway through the game at that point when I released the video. I've since then completed the game, and it goes places. When I say it goes places, it goes places. And I thought this was just a standard like mystery kind of conspiracy, and it goes into some wild concepts that I didn't even know that were possible. It was really fascinating. This is probably one of the best point and click games that I've played in a long time. This is phenomenal. Like I said in that video, the voice acting is amazing from your main characters, and everyone does such a great job. The animations of all the pixel art are great. I love all of the actions present. I love the story, the dialogue, everything's so good. And like I also said in that video, you will get stuck if you don't really know what you're doing. But I did happen to find a number of different guides that are available, so you can actually find that on Steam. It's actually a really good non-spoilery type of guide that I followed a little bit. It kind of helps you, kind of nudges you in the right direction without giving you full spoilers of what to do next. And so I will link that in the description of this video. Drifter is amazing. Probably a 10 out of 10 in terms of point and clips and in terms of dialogue and just the vibe of this game. I love the Drifter so much. It was really good. Definitely play the Drifter. And speaking of vibes, if that was the only thing that was judged on how good a game is, Wheel World would be a 10 out of 10 automatically in my book, because Wheel World is so cool. And what is Wheel World, what you might ask? It's actually a indie racing game. It's developed by Messhoff and published by Annapurna Interactive. What's really cool about this game, it just has a really good feel to it. As soon as you pick up the game, as soon as you start playing it, you are locked into the vibes of this game. And so you essentially only have the task of completing the great shift by your little ghost pal by the name of Scully, who you are racing different people around Wheel World, and you're collecting various bike parts. You increase your speed and your power and your handling and your grit by using the different bike parts that you collect through your races or through things that you find out in the world. And so it's just really cool. And when you get to essentially what is like a boss fight or like a boss race, the music kicks in really well, and there's some vocals present in there. It's just all around good vibes. It's just really fun to play. I had a blast playing Wheel World, and it's actually not even that long. It's about 4 to 5 hours, maybe a bit longer if you want to do some more collecting, if you want to do some more completionist type of things. It's not a long game at all, but it's really fun. The vibes are immaculate. Like I said, vibes will be 10 out of 10 in this game. Wheel World is amazing. So I did a preview video on the demo for Atomic Owl a while back when I was talking about games during Steam Next Fest, and I was really blown away as to how good this game was. And now that the game is out fully, I am more impressed of how this game turned out. Just like Wheel World and the Drifter, the vibes of Atomic Owl are amazing. I really like this cyberpunk, more 80s retro synthwave vibe of this game. I really enjoy that. I know all the characters in this game are animals, but I really like the 80s synthwave vibe of this game. It's really good. It really looks good. But I had no idea that this game was a roguelike. I was checking the Steam page, and it has roguelite and Roguevania. So I thought this was going to be more of a standard Metroidvania where you're platforming, you're gaining abilities as you go forth. But when you die, you start all the way back at the beginning, and you're collecting things called wing remnants to increase your abilities as you go throughout your run. So hey, I'm all for it. I'm here for those roguelike vibes. So yeah, enjoying that game. I will say that I do wish that the camera was still pulled in a little bit more. I think I talked about that in my initial video of Atomic Owl, but it's just too far away. I can't really see my characters as much, and it's really harder to see when you play this on the Steam Deck as well. So I do wish that the camera was pulled in a little bit more. I did talk about the dialogue where you have kind of half voice acting and then some things aren't voice acted. And so the developers did say that they were kind of emulating the dialogue of Persona. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel as I continue to play the game of how I feel about the dialogue, because there'll be some lines that'll be fully voiced and then immediately there'll be something that's not voiced back to a more fully voice acted line. So I'm not sure how I feel about the pacing of how the dialogue goes, but I mean, it's not like a big deal. It's more of a nitpick for me. I do like the movement, I do like the jumping, but I do wish kind of the momentum of what you do when you gain this like super dash as you're going throughout. I do wish you would keep a little bit more of your momentum that would allow you to jump a little bit further. And I do wish the combat was a little bit less stiff, especially when you hit enemies. You do get to switch between several different weapons, which I did not get that in the demo. So you do have a sword, you have a whip, you have an axe, and you have a bigger sword. And some of the attack animations are a little bit stiff. So when you hit enemies, it kind of does like a massive just hit stop, and you just stop your animation. You kind of have to dodge out of the way so you don't get hit by the enemies. So again, these are some minor nitpicks for me. I do like what Monster Theater has created so far, and this is their first game, so I do really applaud them for putting this game out and to how well it's been received and how well it's doing. So yeah, really enjoying Atomic Owl. Let me know if you're playing Atomic Owl already. I'm still trying to complete an actual run by the time of this video, but yeah, enjoying the heck out of Atomic Owl. I did see Artis Impact in a trailer a while back, and I was like, this game looks amazing. This is actually a solo dev project, and you can see how amazing the art is. I don't know how long it took this dev to make Artis Impact, but they probably took their time. They were cooking in this game. I really enjoy Artis Impact. It's a really interesting turn-based RPG. It's very minimalist, so there's not a whole lot of crazy system mechanics. It's not like an Expedition 33. You move around with your character by the name of Akane, and she has a little robot friend, and you are in this kind of dystopian, like apocalyptic-esque world, but it's charming, so to speak. And you are interacting with all the characters in your town, and you are doing various side quests. There are special events that happen. You can get side jobs to collect money. You get money from the missions you can complete in the actual main story. And then when you get into the actual combat, you just do turn-based combat. You attack. You have arts that require different gauges of MP and TP, and then you get gear based off of that. You can upgrade your gear. So like standard RPG type of stuff, but it's not super complicated. I was reading some of the reviews of this game, and some people were saying that the combat is way too easy, and I kind of agree with them. You kind of just increase your stats, and then you do your turn-based combat, and then you just win or you lose. What's interesting is that if you lose, you will get a game over screen, and so you have to make sure that you save pretty often, otherwise you will lose a lot of progress. I think what makes this game really stand out is that the art is incredible. It's a mix between excellent pixel art and manga-based comic panels that are within this, and you'll see sometimes when you're in a cutscene per se, it'll be like a manga chapter or like a comic book panel that will pop up. So yeah, really interesting stuff within Artis Impact. I am bought into everything that this game has to offer. I'm really enjoying Artis Impact, and I'm glad it's doing well on Steam as well. Check out Artis Impact. Is This Seat Taken is finally out. Shout out to Wholesome Games for finally releasing one of their games that they've been publishing, they've been working on for a while, and this game is really fun. It's one of those games, like any cozy game, you can just sit down after a long day and just relax with this game. It's not a very complicated puzzle game. You are given a scenario, be it a bus or a restaurant or a taxi or a movie theater, and you have different people that have different needs, and they want to sit in various spots in different places, or they want to sit next to each other. Someone's playing loud music, someone stinks, someone wants to eat a certain type of food, someone wants to not eat a certain type of food, someone wants to not sit next to someone, and based on the preferences of each of the characters, you just place them where they need to go to try to get the most amount of likes or the most amount of thumbs up, and you move on to the next scenario. There's actually a story present. So there is a main character in this game that is a rhombus that's trying to seek out another famous rhombus in a sea of like square squares and circles, and they're only kind of rhombus in this game. So I thought this was just going to be a puzzle game, but there is actually a story. I liked how you can just jump into a level, figure out what you need to do, jump in, jump out. You can stay for as little or as long as you need to. And that's the thing I love about cozy games like this, is that there's no like pressure to get anything done in a timely manner. You can take your time, you can just enjoy the vibes. Again, there's that word again. Is the Seat Taken is really fun. It just came out as well along with Artis Impact. They're actually released on the same day. August 7th was a crazy day for indie games. So yeah, enjoying the heck out of Is This Seat Taken. So Metavoidal is not out yet. It will be coming out on August the 13th by Yellow Lab Games. This is actually their first game. This is a debut game, and it is a fascinating roguelike. You play as a drummer and you're going from place to place, fighting off these very rabid fans and most likely demons, and you're using various abilities with your drumstick. You have different types of attacks with your drumsticks. You can throw them. You have different effects on them like lightning and fire and oil. You can collect picks to increase things like XP and your dodges and what happens after your dodge. So what's interesting is that the tracks that you get, the effect will trigger after a certain attack is met. So for example, you have 4 different attacks in your attack combo string that you can string together, and you can customize it any way you want to depending on the type of drum attack that you have. But a track that you get, say, let's say it's a fire type of track where the fire will trigger after a 3rd attack. So you can actually have a 3rd attack be stronger, which triggers the fire attack. And you actually can combine that with oil to create these massive explosions that engulf the entire area with fire. And these enemies are relentless and they will attack you. You do have a dodge, and you can also do a perfect dodge. A dodge will trigger some effects depending on what you decide to put on it. And so it's a little bit hard because I think the attacks are a little bit stiffer than I thought, and it doesn't hit as quite as well. I know I'm using like the stick motions here. It doesn't hit as quite as well as I thought it was. And so I'm still trying to figure out the best type of attack patterns to try to go about these runs. And so I'm getting mollywop pretty early in these early runs, but I'm, you know, like all roguelikes, you just figure out a good pace, you try to figure out a good run structure, kind of figure out some good synergies, and you go from there. But I think Metavoidal is really good. It's a good start so far to the folks at Yellow Lab Games, so shout out to them for supporting the channel, and I can't wait to see people play this game when it comes out on August the 13th. If you are one of those people that does play it on August the 13th, let me know. In fact, I would love to discuss any of the games that I've talked about in this video in the comments below. So like I said before, I appreciate all the devs sending me keys for these games. There's some bangers. There's some really fun games that have come out so far. I beat the Drifter, I beat Wheel World. I'm on my way to beating the other few games and kind of getting through more runs of Metavoidal as we speak. So yeah, enjoying the heck out of these games. Let me know if any of these games piqued your interest. Again, I love to always have a discussion in the comments, and if you want to see more videos from me, they will pop up here as this video closes out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for supporting indie games, because indie games are cooking this year. There have been some fantastic indie games that have been coming out over the past several months, and there are more coming out. So excited to see more indie games. Love to see them flourish in this very competitive and crazy market that we call the video game industry. Yeah, play more indies all the time. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Chike, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.